We're here.
Are
we're
we
going.
in?
We're
We're
live.
here.
Yeah,
Well,
I said
hello.
3, 2, 1. What do you want
Yeah,
from
you
me?
did. Sorry.
Yeah, but like 3, 2, 1, what?
Yeah.
Go.
Hi.
1, 4.
Hi, everybody. This is episode 2 of Arc 6 of Better Than Heroes. If you're new to our stream, welcome. I'm Rachel Weeks. I play Klik, the level 16 Kreen fighter.
Hi, mate.
My voice is Dookie.
Sounds cool.
You mean the Green Day album? Because you're, yeah.
My name's Andrew Ovredahl, and I play Flute, a.K.A. the Windrider, a human bard warlock.
My name is Aaron Urist, and I play K.A.I Hammerstein, the Artificer from space.
And I'm Harlan Kelly. I'm the dungeon master of this game, and I play everything else in the universe.
Wow.
Nice. That's a lot of power. How did we let you get so much power?
That's a lot.
I just knew how to use OBS. That's it.
We didn't hold elections or... We are down one Jordan doll tonight, but we will press on. We're going to play some
He's missing.
5E. Yeah, if you've seen it, Jordan doll, let us know. Tonight we're going to play some 5E Spelljammer Dungeons and Dragons. Our show is today live soundtracked by the wonderful Jason Wardell. That is him on the keys.
He's here.
The show is brought to you by our patrons and our subscribers. We are so grateful to you guys. You guys help pay Jason and all of the artists that make this stream possible and also cool as hell. If you love the show and you want to see it grow, please consider supporting us financially. You can do that by subscribing to right here on Twitch. You can join our Patreon, give us money.
I can hear your poor voice deteriorating.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Doing its best.
You can just be done. Recap.
Send us money, but first, the last week's recap.
There it is. Previously on Better Than Heroes, Injadurian Klik discussed politics, and K.A.I worked on upgrades for the Kreen Armada. Flute had a working lunch with Slow Death, the Green Dragon, to discuss the scattered pieces of Floriel. Moonboy grew a groovy grove where he, Leloon, and Malzor took mushrooms. They were having a nice time before a moonbat emerged from Moonboy's hat and tried to assassinate him. Unsuccessful, the bat threw a death tantrum and was vaporized per his request. A ramshackle fleet of fishfolk faithful arrived unannounced in the city, imbuing Flute with celestial power as he low-key ascended to godhood. Glowing with fish faith, he wished for a fortress for his followers to avoid overloading the city's plumbing. Then, for maximum drama, his long-lost sister appeared, frozen in a block of ice. Wait, was that a level 9 spell? Did he just cast Wish to build a house for his fish? And did we know that Flute has a sister? Find out right now on Better Than Heroes.
Here we are, and we're going to start with you, Flute. I would love to know how you react, because there is a gauntlet of things in front of you to spend your time doing. As you are here in this underground cavern that is deep into the heart of the planet Garden, out in realm space, and you are joined by this armada of fishfolk and have found your sister frozen in a block of ice. What's up with you? What you doing?
What's up with you? Oh, not much.
You good, or yeah?
Yeah, I will. She's in the teleportation circle, right? Frozen in a block of ice.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll.
Felix is there with you as well, the green-haired ex-widower.
Yeah, and if memory serves, This is a deep cut, but Felix is a pyromancer, right?
Yeah. Big on the green flame.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm just kind of stunned for a moment, and I like wipe the frost off of the ice, just to see that it's really my sister Pip, and I'm like, I go to like smash it. I like draw my sword to like smash it with the hilt of the sword, and I catch myself, and I say to Felix, like, can you thaw her out?
He looks at you reticently because I'm not going to make you roll for this. He seems worried that he will then be responsible for the outcome of this. And he says to you, like, I mean, we don't even know if she's alive. Like, I want to help you, absolutely, but, you know, I could hurt her in the unfreezing.
The faster we get her thawed, the faster we can see if she is alive. That every minute she's in there, she can't breathe, and we'll figure it out. But I think the fastest we can get her out of the ice, the better.
You want fast? He says.
Not so fast that she gets burned, but you know.
Well, give me a 1 to 10, man. Give me a 1 to 10.
I don't know. A hot summer day.
Oh boy! All right. Okay. How about warm winter stove? That's my suggestion. My professional suggestion is warm winter stove.
All right. Warm.
Right. Okay.
Warm winter stove.
And you see him just like carving. He like then begins to cast these spells, and he's you see just all these multiple beams of fire carving large chunks as like a chainsaw going through a tree as he's pulling big chunks of the ice off, because she's not a frozen person. She is inside of a block of ice. I think it's like an unnaturally square block of ice that he's just like carving these big chunks off of.
But she's not like moving around in it, right? She's like frozen inside of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This isn't a tank. This is an ice cube with her frozen inside, right. And he's like putting his hands together and just casting these rays of fire, these green rays of fire off of it that are carving huge chunks off of the ice. And eventually it kind of gets down to the fine detail of it. And he casts a bonfire on the ground and kind of shoves her over to it as you see it starting to melt off slowly, where he's done a lot of the work quickly of like cutting the fat off a little bit, and now he's really getting in there and letting it slow burn. And he's like, all right, she should be out soon, but I don't know. Look, you're a good guy, he says as he puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, but I don't know that she's going to be alive when she comes out of this.
I know. Well, we'll figure that out. I mean, we could bring her back. We brought back Goat. I brought back those fish folk. We could bring her back.
Yeah. You're right. I keep forgetting that death isn't a consequence for you. Felix and Harlan say together.
Death, a momentary inconvenience in the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I can't talk to her for 8 hours? Right.
Yeah.
I'll just sit by this bonfire and watch my sister defrost.
So as you are warming up your familial relationship here, K.A.I and Klik, what are you all doing? As you all have seen this, armada fly toward you all, and Klik, you kind of calmed down the defenses of Jadorian that are. Yeah, I think it's also like a thing that you've realized in this moment too, that they're a little. They got their finger on the trigger a bit because of how much has happened to their city. You know, yeah, and now they are powerful. They have this armada. They have a full fleet of ships, and they're kind of like already itching. What that is, itchy trigger finger. That's what people say. You're noticing that the armada has a little bit of an itchy trigger finger. But they've all been calm, and this fleet of ships has set itself down in Jadorian now, right? Is that a fair thing? I mean, I just want to double check with you all, but
I think he set up the house outside.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The walls.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. So yeah, there's now this nice encampment, but Klik and K.A.I, what are you all doing? How are you interacting with this? Yeah.
Let's see. I think I would have been on the on the city's walls when. Well, no, that's not true. I was flying around trying to intercept the Kreen or the fish folk when they showed up. So I would have landed, on the walls when stuff started to happen, just sort of gawking at Flute, going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, is that? Yeah, and he also disappeared too a little bit too.
Friendship.
Yeah. So you're kind of, both of you had to are stuck between following Flute back into the caverns of Jadorian. Back to
where he went.
He just went. He got pulled into a room.
Oh right. He's off probably doing his own thing, I guess.
Or dealing with these clown car unloading caravels of fish folk.
He's got a lot on his plate. And frankly, I don't really want to deal with the logistical side of the fish folk anymore.
Yeah. The Kreen aren't going to like this. It's a lot of mouths to feed.
Right, it is. Maybe fish folk could... throughout this whole process, the Kreen have been pretty tolerant of immigrants.
Yeah, generally.
Refugees, right?
Oh yeah, I mean there are well-known open portals that allow folks to come in.
Sure. So that's good. But the fish folk...
It's itchier than ever. It feels like there's enemies all around us. It's the more people that are here, the more people we have to defend. And they're not exactly, raising the defenses. But
maybe the fish folk can help.
We're not going to throw them out. I'm just saying they're going to be cranky about it.
I'd love for both of you to roll a perception check as you're kind of in this in-between state of watching the encampment that's happening outside of the city walls and watching Jadorian's reaction to it as well.
22.
That's huge.
13.
Great. K.A.I, you are a little lost in the math of it, you're trying to count the fish folk as they continue to come out.
Sure.
And you can add more sauce on top of that if you want to, but Flute, Klik, you can tell that the unrest inside of Jadorian is not about not accepting the folks who are here. It's more of the fact that they have spent a lot of time crafting this armada and they wanted to fight. It's a little bit of oh, okay, we're just gonna be nice again. Okay, you're getting a little bit of that mumbling. And you can all, because you rolled a 22 as well, you can see that the fish folk in this encampment that is outside are really gathered around one person who seems to be kind of directing folks now and is standing up on this weirdly large wooden platform that got built very quickly by them.
By the fish folk?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that the breeze traveler?
It is not. I will say K.A.I doesn't necessarily clock this, but Klik does. Yeah.
2, 4, 6. Shit. 1.
Yeah.
2.
They're moving in fast.
In fact, there's no sign of the breeze traveler all of a sudden. So yeah.
with that guy.
He doesn't look familiar. Or does he?
No, I would say with a 22, you just can't. You're a little too far. You would have to go into the this magical hostel to find out.
Magical hostel.
I think Klik goes over there.
I'll go with you.
Sure. Give us what? How do you insect bug goddess and transcendent arcane art being that you are, Kai? How do you all enter this place now?
I enter like a mom coming into your college dorm room. Knock, knock, knock. Hello. Everyone decent?
I mean, Klik moves through this place very, very confidently. This is her hometown. People look up to her here. She can take the walls in single jumps and knows everyone around her. And, she's answering her own front door at this point.
Yeah, exactly. The college kid coming back to their hometown and being like, "You want this mix CD?" Yeah. Cool. Then you all see. Andrew, can you remind the chat what this magical place that you have created for the fish folk looks like?
Definitely. It's a fortress that is conjured up from the ground and has become, I believe it's, I had the exact dimensions, but I want to say it's like 100 square feet on the outside. I'm double checking here.
This place is big.
I love some exact dimensions over here.
120 feet on each side, and it has like turrets. And there's windows, and it has magic servants inside that have set a table, and up to 100 fish folk can be fed a day inside. So they're kind of, there's just kind of like a buffet of all the things that fish folk eat. A lot of bowls of different flakes.
You don't know. You haven't got in. You'd have to go in, Kai. Yeah,
I'm going in. I knocked. Hello. Yeah. I should clarify. That knock was while entering. Because that's what moms do when they come into your college dorm room.
True. I would say that, but before you get to it, this raised wooden platform that is outside that seems to have been like quickly established as a gathering place outside of this fortress. As you all approach in this like knock knock hello, walking up, kind of like knocking on this fortress walls, you see the fish folk at the top of the platform turn around. And if I'm going to show the chat who you see, and you all can check out your Roll20 if you want to see as well, because you see this very regal-looking fish folk in very flowy robes, and her like purple gills and purple like spines off the side of her head. She turns in this like slow, concise fashion that looks at you and she says, Greetings to K.A.I and Klik, servants of our Lord, Flute Whimteaser. Aren't we grateful to have them here? And you just hear like some cheers from the crowd. And she looks at you all and she says, I am Tromboned. And you all see this. This fish with this purple fishfolk woman with I think that's such an important piece that Jordan Dahl added himself, fully of his own volition, which it was very inspiring to me creatively. That you see floating above her head is this yellow, white, translucent hat that you all have seen on Flute himself with the arrow and the feather inside of it. And she's wearing a belt buckle that says Swish.
Hell yeah.
Greetings.
Trombasi.
Trombasi. Nice
I
to
don't
meet
know
you.
if we.
Madam Trom is fine, or, Mistress Trom, Patron Trom. She says there are many formal titles, but you all know best, as you all have been granted with the presence of the Windrider. And you hear the whole crowd go, "The Sinker! The Sinker!" together.
Granted, blessed, huh? Yeah.
That's right. We are with the band. What is your position out here? It seems like you're directing folks around.
Yes, I'm High Priestess of the Winds.
Really?
Yes, of course. I have been anointed by the Windrider himself. And you hear, when she says the Windrider, you hear the Sinker from the crowds of folks. And now you can see there are more fish folk that have left the caravels that are the ships that are parked around and against the fortress, seem to just be filling out this audience around her.
Anointed personally?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I
Interesting.
wasn't aware. He's never mentioned you.
Well, we have a very private relationship, but you all, I'm sure, do as well, because you all are the Knights of the Sinker.
Oh, are we?
Not a term I've heard before. Does it seem like she believes what she's saying?
You can roll an insight check, absolutely. Both
Me
of you
too.
can.
Me too. Not great.
Okay. Not the worst. Hang on.
10. I hate her. I have no idea what she's saying.
Insight is a dirty 20.
You are both very sure that she believes every word that she says.
Huh.
You are actually a
I'll
god
get
and
on the
people are
walkie-talkie.
drifting off of your identity. That's the actual last stage of becoming
totally.
a god, when people are lying about knowing you.
I'll take a step to the side and get on the walkie-talkie to Flute. Say, Flute, do you know someone named Trembasi?
Trom. She's like, you see her float down next to you as she sees you grab the walkie-talkie. She says, Trom. Trom.
Trembasi.
And my last name is Bossy.
Trom.
B-O-S-S-Y.
I didn't
Oh,
realize.
those are separate. I see.
Yes, it's
I thought it
Trom.
was a single.
It's,
No.
she says, and looking at it's, yes, well, I mean, technically it's Trombone, Shaloop, Bossy.
Ah.
Flute's sitting there, watching his sister's body thaw out, kind of working his jaw over, and this comes over the walkie-talkie, and he's holding it so tightly, and he thinks of the original fish folk that he met on their adventure a long time ago, or at least a seemingly very long time ago. Tuber, Fluber, Goober, Ute, Lou, Brune, Darsa, Rosto, Tupa, Mala, Tor, and Gorg. But he doesn't remember this person's name.
Trombone.
Yeah, Trombone Bossy.
Bossy.
Can I do a history roll?
She claims to have been raised to the position of High Priestess by you personally.
She's wearing your hat.
Am I also wearing my hat right now?
She.
That's a good question.
Hers is
That's
made
not
of
me.
light.
So you can, what are you rolling again for this?
A history check. I know
sure,
that I
but
didn't.
as you're
I know
doing
that I
it,
didn't anoint her, but what I'm trying to remember is is this a fish folk who I came by in passing?
Sure, you can roll the history check. While you're doing it, though, enough of the bonfire has melted your sister's, enough off of your sister's body that her hand is out, and you can roll this history check as long as you're holding her hand while you're doing it.
I'm
you have to
feeling
be
it, and I definitely want to
get
be
a
feeling
pulse
for
or
a
whatever.
pulse.
Yeah.
I'll roll with disadvantage. No need. The first roll was terrible.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
I I got a 2. I'm very sidetracked, and I'll just kind of mutter. I'm like, I don't know that name, and I've never anointed anyone anything ever. Something's going on at the teleportation circle. I have to go.
You can also roll a medicine check if you'd like to, Flute. Because you failed on that one, you're focused enough here to do this medicine check.
Okay. 19. No, 18.
18. She's alive.
Oh, great.
She's alive.
Yeah, I'll just like slump down with a sigh of relief, and I'll ask for somebody can bring like some blankets or something. Do Kreen even need blankets? Well, somebody's got to have blankets around.
They don't even have a word for blanket.
Bug blankets. They're like cocoons.
Why would we sew pieces of a plant together?
Yes.
That seems hard.
The closest term is elf tortilla.
Which is like kind of problematic at this point because they've
It's,
both
it's an
acknowledge
older term.
the elf
It is what it
flesh.
is.
I'll ask for some blankets and just keep thawing her out. But I'll definitely tell K.A.I, no, I never anointed anyone, nor do I remember this person.
Yeah, he doesn't. I'll say to Klik. Yeah, he doesn't. What do you think? What do you think her deal is? He says he doesn't. He's never heard of her.
How did you find us, Trombone?
I followed the call of the light and the song that is all around us. And she says, "Isn't it?" And with that, you see just many members of the crowd pull out different musical instruments and start playing them. Kind of, I think to you all, it definitely seems at random, because they're not playing a song together. When she prompts the crowd, they just each pull out a musical instrument and start playing it in their own little world. She says, "Listen to the music. We followed it. We heard it in our hearts."
And it brought you here? All right.
Sorry, Jason is doing the chaotic music, and I didn't give him this prompt.
Perfect.
It's incredible.
Real quickly,
Perfect.
also on the Rocky Talkie, I will I'll call for the Breeze Traveler. Hello, Breeze Traveler.
Hello. I am here.
It's
I
I.
have a Rocky Talkie now, and I'm
Yes, and
here to chat with you.
you're using it very appropriately within
Thank you.
the allotted boundaries, and good for you for that.
There's one thing I know about the Rocky Talkies is that I'm supposed to wait for you all to call me over it.
That's right, very good. Do you know someone named Trombasi?
No!
Insight
was
check?
that a negative?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you can absolutely do an insight check.
Or just an emotional reaction?
No, I do not know her.
12 from me.
Also 12.
I mean, he
That music was great.
seems distracted but earnest.
You
No,
don't know
I
her?
don't know a Trombasi. Actually, it's pronounced Bassi, but and I do not know. I do not know this Trombasi.
You know
But you know how it's
of
pronounced?
Yes, I know of the Bassi pronunciation. It is yes, I
What's the deal?
Yes.
Why are you being weird?
I'm being weird because because there are a bunch of fish folk here, and I am a leader, and I'm feeling intimidated currently if we're putting all our cards on the table.
Yeah, well, welcome aboard.
Yeah. It's,
Well, are you inviting me to the dinger? It sounds like you invited me to the dinger. That's why that would be very inspiring to me. That's not the point. The point is I don't know what to do currently in my position of leadership.
Where are you?
I'm hiding alone.
What?
that's
yes, I had-
really
I-
silly.
I
Didn't
had a
Flute
moment.
Put you in charge?
Yes, but I got overwhelmed. Just to be
Windrider.
honest with you, I'm being
Sorry.
overwhelmed. I feel
Did
overwhelmed.
you hear that? I just called you the Windrider because I'm frustrated with you, but I need
It's
you.
Breeze Traveler. Get your
Listen,
head on it.
Breeze
Yeah,
Traveler. We need your help. These fish folk are running amok, taking orders from whoever this is. She's got a glowing hat, and
Trombussy.
you're going to need to get your head in the game if you're going to compete with her for this leadership position, all right?
I'm not interested in that. I just want to get on my ship and lead my warriors into... Well, that didn't... He kind of was like cutting his own stuff.
Unlike Trombussy. Bossy.
Bessie.
Not Bussy. Right in the Trombussy.
It's Betsy. Even though it's spelled Pino, it's pronounced Bessie.
Like Lassie.
Like a bass.
Windrider appointed you to help deal with these fish folk, and we need you right now. So I need you to crawl out of whatever hole you've dug for yourself and get it together, because now's your time to shine, all right?
The problem is with that is that they seem to be doing fine. They're very powerful, they're very organized, and they don't need me.
That's what I'm worried about. We know you. We can trust you. I don't know what's going on here.
Do they feel untrustworthy? They're very organized. Usually organized people are trustworthy.
I don't know.
I don't think that's
weird
true.
Vibes off this lady.
So I shouldn't trust her.
I'm not saying that. We need someone that we know who likes being around other fish folk.
Is the implication there that you don't like being around fish folk?
No, it's that you know your people better than anybody.
Yes, I do love my people. So you need my help?
Yes.
You can roll a persuasion check with advantage.
I need your help in that I need you to do your job. Persuasion check with advantage? All right. Excellent. I'm not very good at persuasion, but that's still a dirty 20.
Okay, well, I got a 19. Look at that.
Nice.
Nice. And you see him crawl out of a porthole of one of the caravels. You just see him from like afar as
Jesus.
And he kind of like lands down, adjusts his hat, and he says, "My hat is real, and I say we need to all gather up and organize ourselves so that we can find out how to be most effective to the leaders here in Jadorian." And then you quickly hear, as he's like pops out of this hole, Madame Trom say from across. She says, "Who are you?" And he says, "I am the breeze." And she interrupts him and she says, "Oh, sure, but you are not with us here." And this group, this armada that has flown all the way across the universe, that has gone past the rebellion, that has gone through the incursion of mind flayers to be here to serve our Lord, the the Windrider. And he says, "Yes, but I am the breeze traveler." She says, "You are a false name, and you have not been with your people. You have absconded into the darkness. We do not know you, but this crowd knows me, do they not?" And they kind of like murmur and say things like that. Yeah. She says, "And I clearly have the mark of our Lord, the Windrider," as the halo is of a hat is above her head. And she says, "We are here to meet and follow the Windrider. So we will have nothing. We will not hear these whispers outside. We will stay focused on our goal of saving the world as the heroes we are who are following the Windrider." And then the crowd is like, "Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't tell us what to do, man." And a couple of them like start shoving the breeze traveler.
Whoa, excuse me. Let it be known that the breeze traveler here is a hero of Jadurian and of all of Wild Space, who is in part responsible for all of our victories up to this point.
She says, "You may serve Jadorian, but we serve the Windrider." I gotta stop doing this because it's not in character mess ups. It's me. It's me. So You just haven't been
Look,
calling
I created
so long.
two of the
I know.
identities. You went all in with the third. I can't be responsible for that.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't believe I'm
I
arguing
just want to
with
note
you
that it's
about-
not a narrative hint. It is just me having 100 NPCs in my head.
The Breeze Traveler was there at the sinker's first sinking.
We know the
and
stories.
he doesn't even recognize you.
He doesn't even know who you are.
It is merely mortal flesh, and it is coming from your mouths who are not the Windrider.
Have you met the Windrider?
Yes,
He's not
in
all
my
that
heart,
impressive.
in my soul. I was born of the Windrider. I was never a child. I came out of the ground, conjured by him. So I am here to serve him solely. So what would I know? I don't know anything but his love and truth in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm telling you.
All right. Well, you know what? I think there's only one person who can clear this up, and it's Flute. And frankly, I don't want to be responsible for it anymore. Look,
Yeah, fair enough.
Keep your fish to themselves. You're welcome here for the time being, but be respectful. You are guests on this land.
That's right.
Sure,
No more
can you both roll?
disrespecting the Breeze Traveler. That's not okay with us.
She says, I agree. And can both of you
believe
roll
this.
wisdom saving throws?
Both of us?
Yep.
Bug versus fish fight. This is going to be a short fight.
17.
24.
Green versus Druid.
All right. Can both... so, Flute, what are you up to?
I don't know. What's the stat? How much of my sister's dithod?
I'll say about half of her body, you know? Like she still has like a solid amount of her hip and left leg in there where you can't just like pluck her out, and like enough of her hand to stop her from like flopping over. But she's roasting. Felix like adjusts her so that the other
Rotates the
side of
block.
the ice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then I'm gonna keep waiting, and I got some blankets. I call for some hot soup, some kind of specialty Kreen soup.
Goliathan brings you the soup, and he's like, I made this myself because I thought, this is my sadness soup. When people are sad,
It's
I make
chili.
them soup.
Alcohol and chili mixed together.
I've been kind of holding it on the back because I feel like ever since I've known y'all, you've been as much rascals as you've been sad, but finding your sister frozen in a block of ice is something I ain't never heard of, so I just thought it's why I say my sadness soup for, so.
Thanks. I'll like
He
take
kind
it.
of pats you on the back of the knee because he can't reach your back.
Yeah, I'll pat him back and like, thanks. This is perfect. This is just what I needed. How could this have happened? I don't understand who would do this. Who would? Someone at Firma Regna froze her, or she managed to escape here, and something I don't understand.
I don't know, man. When was the last time you saw your sister? That's whenever I lose my keys.
It was weeks. It was weeks ago.
When was the last time?
I don't know. It was.
Can you get specific about the amount of time?
I don't know, and I don't think you know either. But I think it was weeks.
I definitely don't, says Goliathan. Yeah.
It's
That
a
gets
little
weird in
hard.
space, so
yeah.
I know.
But it was.
What was she doing the last time you saw her?
She was working in the defense of Firma Regna when the mind flayers were invading. It was they were we could see the ships, and She was working for the defense of Urist, and I left. I teleported back to you all, but that was the last I saw of her.
Yeah. I mean, one of the mind flayers that got her, because if the mind flayers got her, then, you know, he kind of like gestures to her head, and he was like,
right, and I don't...
she looks very intact, I will say.
I don't think it was mind flayers. I don't know. Well, we'll see what she says when she wakes up, I guess, but I can't think of who would do this.
Yeah. Do you know anyone who deals in ice? Seems like a little bit of a, you know, wrapped package. No offense meant.
I don't know.
I'm just speaking what I know.
2-bit sorcerer on Firmaregna trying that she did wrong? I don't know.
Felix is like, I know a bunch of ice sorcerers, all right? I know, you know, there's like Jerry Cool.
Jerry Cool.
It might have been Jerry Cool.
Jerry Cool.
Well, if Jerry Cool did this, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, Hieronymus Frost. Horrible dude.
Thanks, Felix. If you could go grab some more blankets, that would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry, I'll get out of here. Yeah, Goliath's like, man, you sure? Is that the guy for you?
I don't know. It's the guy for now. Huh?
All right. Yeah, sorry, none of my business.
Dog. Sorry.
All right, well, we got, you know, I'm sure I can rustle up a healer or something if you need me to.
I can,
you know, go.
I could help, bro. You could just sit here with me if you want.
Goat and Relic. Sure. Goat and Relic are kind of interested in hanging, saying hello, and because, you know, we've been with you since the beginning and we deeply care about you. Don't forget it.
Sure.
When you get
anyone who wants
since
to
you're big
come
boy famous now.
And
all right. Cobble says something about she's not going to leave the ship, but I don't think that I'm going to take that personal. And he kind of like Goliath whistles, and the now tiny goat comes in, and
I forgot.
which is was once a Goliath bosun on your all's ship, the Dinger. It is now a tiny little gnome bosun. And Relic, the halfling, which hilariously halflings are smaller than gnomes, so they kind of like this tiny little crew comes in here, Goliath and towering over both of them as a dwarf, and they just kind of like sit there. They both wave at you a little bit, just kind of like, hey, says Goat, and Relic starts to speak and then chokes it back down, and it just kind of like sits there, and they all have their own bowls of soup that have already been served to them by Goliath, and they eat their cosmic sad chili.
Yeah, I'll try a little of it also.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Roll a con save.
Let's find out.
11.
You know, there's something to be said for cafeteria food. When you need it, it's like the high school chicken sandwich. They didn't fuck it up. It's there. It's got mayonnaise on it. It's fine. So, yeah.
It's good enough. All right. Yeah, I'll just kind of sip the soup and just wait for my sister to finish thawing, and then I'll cast some healing magic on her.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta sit around and wait for your sister to thaw.
Do we know that he's sitting with his
I don't think I
sister?
told you. I just told you I was like dealing with something.
We've actually
something
seen
was
it.
going on.
Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah.
had thought to be specific about it.
We've both been turned into sheep.
But I'll tell. I guess we could say for sure when Goliathan walks up to get them. I could have said I could have asked him to let my fellow plunderers know what was going on.
Sure. Let's have Goliathan do an insight check then. Cool. He's like, Like usual, they're busy. They're dealing with the scene down there. He says, kind of indicating about the fish folk that have arrived. He says, seems like they got it covered. There doesn't seem to be any problems.
All right, that's good, I guess.
Great. All right. With that, we're going to cut to break. I think we're going to, before we
Eating soup.
figure out what's going on with you, K.A.I and Klik, we're just going to take 5 minutes. We're going to drink, pee, and we'll see you here in just a second. As just feels like the right time to take a breath.
You're trying to trick me into walking away from my frozen sister. I'm not going to do it.
Well, it's okay. K.A.I and I are fish folk now.
Members of the cult.
So, welcome back. We're back. Better than hear us. Hypothetically, for no reason, K.A.I and Klik, if you were to be in a trance under some sort of deep charm effect that didn't have a, like maybe an automatic moment in it where it would unleash you from that charm effect. Maybe it's just like ongoing for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Wait, 24 was a failure? Oh no.
Yeah. What do you think would be something that would jog you out of it, if that was to be true? If you were like, let's say your body was operating without your control and you were just charmed and moving and operating. What do you think would jar you out of it?
Don't make me participate in my own.
I have an ability that shakes off charming.
That's true.
It says if I start my turn charmed or frightened, I don't know how that applies to out of contact.
That deeply applies. 100%.
Yeah, I can expend a psi energy die and I can end every effect subjecting you to those conditions is what it says.
So this is going to be nearly instantaneous then, because it's like 6 seconds that you can just do this. Oh. But give us, I want the moment of like, you are coming out of this charm because there's something itching in the back of your brain. I would love to hear that flavor from you of you kind of like coming back to consciousness here.
I think she's frustrated and doesn't like this person and is just trying to leave it to Flute and make it his problem. And then suddenly everything kind of goes hazy. And she feels relaxed all of a sudden and just like comfortable where she is, and was like, yeah, of course, all of this. And then she hears a vibrating buzz from the back of her mind that refuses to be relaxed. Yeah. And she can hear the hum of 1,000 Kreen ancestors bubble up from her throat and be like, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And I do not think she reacts to it well. I think she goes after Trom when she comes out of it.
Incredible. Oh boy. God, the waking up to 1,000 ancestors being like something was wrong. Whoo, boy. Tag yourself, as your
What happens to Jewish people when we eat dairy?
Something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong.
So you're attacking her specifically?
I think she is trying to pin her down. Yeah.
Cool. So as you all are like hanging out outside of this fortress that was created by Flute, and kind of on the edge of a large crowd that was undulating and cheering in response to the things that she said, pushing the breeze traveler around, you experience her say something to it, kind of like go limp, and then not limp, but like loose and relaxed, and then snap back to it and just lunge at her. I would love for you to roll initiative here.
Yeah.
And then Kai, I want you to also roll initiative.
I would love to. Here's also what I was going to say is the answer to your question is what would potentially kick us out of a trance. I was going to say, I think the only thing I can think of that would like kick him out is his friends being in danger.
Sure.
But I don't know if this is that, because she probably has the situation under control.
Yeah, I think it's like a thing that weirdly, like, I imagined it fairly far forward in time, and now Klik is kind of like instantly snapping it. So, yeah.
15.
11.
Cool. And then Flute, would you mind rolling for the Breeze Traveler?
Yes, Breeze Traveler.
Of course. What's his dex
Please
modifier?
Don't fail me after I defended you in public.
He got a 16.
All right. Cool. Can Klik, you get to go first here. Right? Because you rolled higher than Kai.
I rolled a 15.
I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She jumps from where she's standing and she pulls her weapon but doesn't use it as a weapon. She uses that as a crossbar to knock her down flat to the ground, and hisses it over like if she lands, she hisses as she jumps at her. Do not presume to charm me in my own home.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, now you all are face to face here. And she says, do not trample on the essence of my being. And she's going to look back at you. Do you want to do anything else to your turn?
I am...
You successfully have her grappled.
Nice.
As the beat that Jason provided clearly communicates.
Has me grappled.
I would like to... I'd love to incapacitate her in some way, but I don't think that is necessary.
Surprise combat.
Sorry.
It's okay. I didn't give you any warning that there was going to be a combat tonight.
I will use the 2 charges from my Greater Omnipathy engine to do the Hive Mind Neuropath. So I will hear the hum of my clutch ancestors, and I will gain advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks and saving throws for 1 minute.
Hell yeah.
And so Trom can hear the whirring and clicking of a machine in the back of my head, my eyes and mandibles close to her face, pinned to the ground. Be like, your spirit is a guest here.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
As you say that, she the hat flies down that is above her and rams itself into you with its radiant form. What's your AC?
Not great. I believe it is 16 because I have my weapon.
Wonderful. You take 8 points of force damage and 14 points of radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
2 14, so I take 22. I go to 17. And we go wisdom saving throw, which I have an advantage on. Oh, that one killed. 19.
Oh boy, that is exactly what you need. Needed to not be frightened. Mm-hmm. So I love a little description of you as she is using this radiant magic to project something into your mind as it does physical damage to you. The radiant figure, like the flying radiant hat, like slices into your body like a hot knife. And just you see pieces of your carapace start to peel back, and you feel from inside of you in the same way that you kind of like feel these ancestors in the back of your head saying things to you to make sure that you're okay in different ways. But these voices are seemingly like pushing back against that, and in Flute's voice is this like proud, regal version of Flute almost barking at you. So I'd love to hear how you shake that off.
That hat is a prop, a costume piece. It is nothing.
Yeah, you say as it's peeling your skin away. And then that is the end of the legendary action that she used on her turn. So now it's going to be her turn proper. And she is... oh boy.
God. What is happening?
She's like serious. Who is this gal?
Badass.
I need you to make a saving throw here.
Yep.
I need you to make a charisma saving throw. As she reaches up and touches your face, and she goes, "You do not know the song of the universe." And she touches your face.
That was terrifying.
Well, she rolled an 11, and I think she's just spitting and hitting and hissing and clacking. And, frustrated, tired.
And if you, Flute, you as the Breeze Traveler, are standing there, and the Breeze Traveler sees all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Sees the kind of like charming moment, and there's a little bit of intuition in his heart and his gut of like, wait, oh no, just like something is wrong. And he sees Klik charge, and feels conflicted for a tiny moment, but is also like getting shoved around by these fish folk. Sees Klik pin her down, sees the hat dive into her. There's a little moment inside of him too that's like, oh, I mean, you brought a fish to a gunfight here a little bit, with Klik of you're going to lose 1-1, and you just see her hand come up and touch Klik's face. And he sees an image that he's only heard about in stories of Flute being on the deck of the Ark and seeing, what was Eliza's character's name? I'm losing it for some reason. God damn it. Valerie Livray. Sorry. My brain shut off for a second. Of seeing Valerie Livray not poof out of existence, but swirl, like her image turn and get changed. And Klik is no longer standing in front and on top of this fish folk. K.A.I, can you roll a wisdom saving throw for me?
Yeah. Totally.
If you
Totally,
two
I
die in this social combat.
I meant to
I
do
really
that.
prefer not to.
High level D&D. High level D&D.
That is a 24. Again.
Can you roll again?
Yeah.
This is one failure.
What?
26.
Can you roll again?
Same thing. 26.
Ooh,
Pretty good.
That one will do it.
Is that good?
You come to consciousness 2 hours later, and you are flying a caravel. You are attuned to the Spelljammer helm, and your ship is full of fish folk.
Hello. What?
And they all, when you say that, they all kind of like snap around at you, and their eyes are glowing, and they have tiny little hats floating over them.
Where are we?
And they look at you and say, well, one of them steps up and looks at you and says, "We are doing the will of the sinker."
Where? I look around. Are we on Jadurian?
Yeah, you can see outside of the ship very well, because you are tuned to the helm. You can see outside of it immediately. You know how Spelljammer helms work, how being in tuned to them works. You can see outside of it. You can change that POV camera a little bit. And you're flying toward the Palace of the Skull Goblin that has been recently reoccupied by some of the Skull Goblin as it has been discovered to be empty.
I stop.
Yeah, the ship halts, and all of them look at you and they say, "Do you not wish to continue on the path?" Says the one that steps forward with a hat floating out of it, and these like purple scales with like a large. This one has like blue scales with like large fins up the back.
On the walkie-talkie. Klik, Flute. Anyone? Where am I? What's happening?
Flute, you hear that, and we're gonna have to put a pin in this because we're jumping 2 hours. This is like 2 hours from after the end of the thaw happened, so we have to go back in time here.
Hell
so
yeah.
we're transitioning. So we're going back over to Flute 2 hours
Narrative
earlier.
device.
And your sister is like nearly completely unthawed. Seems to be not dead, but definitely not awake. And as the crew of the Dinger minus Cobble sits around you, what would you like? What are the next steps here?
I'm just
for
waiting.
you?
Did she thaw out, you said?
Yeah, she's now fully just a damp, unconscious body.
Cool. I will cast
There's also an obnoxious amount of water on the floor because you just melted this huge ice chunk, so it's like really just seeping into this.
in here.
Yeah, a lot of Kreen buildings are built out of like hardened organic material that's like chewed up and spit out as a paste, and so it's melting into that in a way that is causing floor damage.
Oh my god!
Definitely to this room.
I'm apologizing to whoever's floor this is.
To girl, there's no Kreen in this room. Yeah, currently.
I'll cast Mass Cure Wounds. It's the only healing spell I have, but I will heal.
You see that Goliathan, Goat, and Relic all have X amount of like bruises and bumps that from working on just like even maintaining the ship, and those all heal. But your sister, nothing happens to your sister.
She doesn't wake up? Oh.
Nope.
Yeah. I check her out? I'll ask. Who's there? Goliathan, Goat, Relic. I'll ask Goliathan to also look at her like she should have woken up. I healed her. She's all thawed out. She has a pulse. I don't understand.
He's been smoking a huge cigar and like braiding his beard during this like chill time, and he's like, "Come on, man. You've been through too much stuff to think that there's lots of ways to rip a person apart, even if it's not there. Look, there isn't a scratch on her," he says, and you can see that her body is just like there's no harm. There's not frostbite. There's not like any harm that has come to her body. She just seems to be this like damp form.
Can I think on what magic I may have heard of or have known that could leave someone in a state like this?
Sure, as long as you can roll a history or an arcana check, a religion check as well, and you just have to tell me why you might have had this information as you roll.
I rolled an arcana check because I'm a bard. I went to a bardic college and learned all types of magic and heard about all the different bardic schools and traditions, and so I'm not any stranger to magic. So I made an arcana roll and I got a 15.
Cool. You that her body is working actively. There's like a light and shallow breath. She is functionally alive. She's not even unconscious in the sense of like you lose all your hit points from a metagame narrative standpoint. She is actively breathing. When you kind of like lay her down on the ground after fully unthawing, her like eyes roll back in her head a little bit and her eyelids like open involuntarily, just kind of like flop back and they don't close again. She is alive, at full health, and not there.
Okay. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts and do the deep dive in, not just at surface level.
All right. Roll. Let's see. Let's have you roll a wisdom saving throw here. Let's fucking go. This is good. This is good.
I got a 7.
I'm terrified.
As you do that, Andrew, you remember that movie that we both saw? Talk to Me?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember in Talk
Scary
to Me?
one.
Where there's a moment in Talk to Me where a lot, I don't need to explain the whole plot, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, but a lot of the movie is them touching an artifact that is a hand, and then things getting pulled into their body. And then there's one moment in the movie where someone touches the hand and then gets pulled into the world that all of the things that are getting pulled into your body come from. And this is very similar to that. When you touch this hand, you feel yourself get pulled through the floor, through her eyes, as you just go, like you feel your whole essence get like sucked into her eyes, and you go down and just like shoot through her feet, like your blood in her body, and then the blood just like seeps out of her feet and into the ground like rainwater, just like dripping down in fast motion as you go and get dried up and just become like mold and sand, and get sucked deeper and deeper, and you feel the heat of like an internal core of a planet, and then the heat turns to like it's just like excruciating, all-encompassing pain for a moment, as if you died inside of lava, and then that clears up as if like a vision comes through that, and you just feel this like damp, painful humidity as you come out into hell, and you feel your essence, your soul, like get dragged toward a coolness as you're just looking for any escape, any reprieve, any oasis inside of this hell that you're inside of, and you feel this vision just smack into this large block of ice that is bigger than any building you've ever seen. You've flown from space into a planet, and it feels the size of a planet as you're just like standing up of this huge block of ice, and frozen inside of it is this dark shape. And you look next to yourself, and you see you looking back at you, but it's you, and all your skin is like peeled back, and you look so old, but like with the wild twitchiness of youth at the same time, as you're just like standing looking at you, and you hear your own voice say to you, I told you, if I die, you die. One piece at a time. You didn't let me melt the ice, so I'll melt the ice. I'll melt your ice, buddy. And then it just like, it's saying as it's like, its whole body is weeping from each part of its skin as it just like melts in front of you and falls into a puddle of flesh on the floor, and then all back in reverse as you just get pulled out of, you just experience that same thing in reverse, and you get pulled back out, and you're standing right next to your sister's unconscious body once again.
I fall over and I retch on the floor, and kind of like gasp from the shock of it. And I'm like, what happened? What? I'm like looking around, like.
Goliathan is like patting you on the back, and he's like, it's okay to throw up. And Relic is like, oh man, that's disgusting. That's fine. It's fine, but it's disgusting. And Goat is already cleaning it up.
I went to hell, but my sister wasn't there that I saw. We have to figure this out. I need to talk to K.A.I or Moonboy about this. Can we carry her to the dinger so we know she'll be safe?
Yeah. Goat. Sorry. And Goat's like, no, I could still do it. Or I could still do it. And all three of them just kind of like lift up the body together. Like, Relic, come on. And they all hoist her up, kind of like each a piece at a time. They get her up on the like legs around a shoulder, arms around a shoulder, one in between, and they all convoy it toward the ship.
Cool. Yeah, I'll go. I'm like looking around for K.A.I or Klik or Moonboy, asking around where they might be.
Are you calling it over the walkie-talkie?
Yeah, I guess I would if I can.
You hear nothing except the Breeze Traveler's voice say, permission to speak.
Yes, but have you seen? Yeah, Breeze Traveler. What's happening?
I think we have a problem, he says, and I think that's where we're going to end tonight. We're a little early here, but I can't move forward without Jordan. And
my God.
Oh boy, there's so many things. So yeah, I think that's it tonight. I think that's what we got.
I did a whoopsie.
Kill all these fish.
You did it. That was a wild one. There's the amount of times I have walked past plot lines by being like, you all are like, oh, remember what we did there? We had to get all the rolls. And this one is the one time where I'm like, oh no, we're gonna, oh no, okay, all right, let's do it. So yeah.
Oh shit.
Pretty good.
That was fun.
Oh my God, great.
Chat, you're so good tonight. There's so many good chats.
Great music.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan's gonna come back
Jason.
and be like, what did you do?
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? This is a very fun thing. No one tell Jordan what's going on. Let's start next session with him being like, "Oh, you ended here. What is the 2 hours?"
We saw the art you made. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
dude,
cool
she
art,
sucks.
Dope.
Hate that gal.
God.
Holy crap.
Stargazer, moon boy, Klik, the Crusher, K.A.I, Humbly Chef, and the Windrider, Flute, Whimteaser. They're better than he.